the resurrection. The resurrection, you see, was the public declaration, justification of Jesus. It's the public declaration to the world that Jesus wasn't guilty. He wasn't guilty of the sin that he was killed for. He wasn't guilty of the sins of the world. It was not his sins. He wasn't dying for his own sins. He was dying for the sins of his people. And the payment that he made was fully paid for the debt that was owed. Indeed, even more, his death broke the bonds of death forevermore, so that all who are united to him may know that death cannot hold them. Because we are united to the resurrected one, we too shall rise and be raised even as he was. And so, even though the question sounds crazy, in fact, the women are looking for Jesus in the wrong place, and they actually are. He is no longer among the dead. He is now gloriously alive. And if you're to find him, the angels say, you won't find him in the tomb, not anymore. He's not here. He is risen. He's living again. And then the angels call the women to remember his words. Look at verse 6 and 7. Remember how he spoke to you when he was still in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again. They remind the women, hey, Jesus has said this. You have to remember what he said to you. He said it over and over. Jesus had told his disciples, and apparently the women were among them, this would happen. This is exactly the way it was all planned. They have to go back and remember what Jesus had taught them, and remember that in light of that, all that he had done, think through all of that in light now of the resurrection. If they are to understand his words, they must go back and remember them in light of the work that he has now accomplished, in light of the fact that he died and was buried and has been raised again. What had all happened was exactly what was spoken by the prophets. This is exactly the work that God had given him to do. This was all a part of the plan and the purpose of God. You notice how they use the word must. It's that little word that indicates absolute necessity. The Son